Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings upon you all. Dear students, last time we discussed about jQuery, and today under the jQuery you could see is the user interface. That's jQuery UI. So what is UI? We already know. User interface, which means something which you give to the user, an interface where the user will interact with. And we already saw that we had the let me change the color of the pen to maybe something, what is it, maybe black. Okay, here what I'm saying is we had a JavaScript. Okay, we had a JavaScript. It's still red, not a problem. And on top of it we built the jQuery libraries to complement our JavaScript so that we write less and do more, kind of a plug and play libraries where you can use them, just call them and do something, and it does for it. Everything is written. Okay, and on top of jQuery we got the jQuery UI. So jQuery UI again are some sort of plug and play libraries which are on top of jQuery to give us everything what we need to design. Wherein we have to write a lot of code to do something that's already being done. We have to only use them and plug into our website, in our code, and we are done. So typically in the jQuery UI, and if you could see here right now I am on a JQeeryUI.com. Okay, this is a jQuery UI. Last video I was on a jQuery.com, and this is the JQeeryUI.com. So you also need to download this thing. The latest version of is 1.12.1. Today on, this is 9:48 p.m. 4/11/2020. Okay, if it's not coming on the screen, it's about to have it. It's 4/11/2020 right now. It's 9:48 p.m. So right now it is, the latest version is 1.12.1. So you again have to download this, and what else you will get in a jQuery UI is you will get the effects, you will get the widgets, and you will get the themes, which is built on top of the jQuery and JavaScript. And jQuery UI is nothing but the JavaScript files, .css files, and many more things. But typically it's nothing but the CSS and JavaScript, the ready-made code for you. It's nothing else but a ready-made code, so you got to include that, and you got to call those functionalities from your code. Like for example, they say, hey, date picker. Date picker means the calendar. This is the famous thing, which we do in the first thing we do in a jQuery UI, the date picker. You just want to build that. You don't have to do everything of your own. Just call the date picker of the jQuery UI, and it will do everything for you. So first thing what to do is you're going to download. For example, if you say custom download here, okay, if I do the custom download, for example, here, custom download, just click it and just see what's there in a custom download. If you see, we got the widgets, we got a lot of things. If you could see here, under the widgets, which is most important for us, we got all those things which are required, like accordion, autocomplete, button, checkbox, and many more, which you can see down. Okay, and we got the effects, all kind of effects, bounce, blind, animations, what you want to do, the puff, the pulsate, the scale, the shake, and all those things. And then there are also the themes which you can put up. We have a theme roller which we can use and apply whole theme to our code. Then there are interactions like draggable, droppable, resizable, and many more. And if you want to have everything, yes, we want to have everything, to download. Then I go back. I don't want to download the custom download. I go to the stable download, legacy and all. Just see it from the Google what does a legacy and stable does mean, and you must be already knowing that. Okay. Then you can save that file. There's a zip file. It's going to save very quickly. I have already downloaded it in the MCA folder. Let me do it in a different folder maybe. Then I have unzipped it also and renamed it, but I will do it again. Just I go to the desktop maybe, desktop. Maybe I create a new folder. I call it MCA on my desktop. Okay, because I don't need the database programming to go to the htdocs and all, because that MCA was in htdocs. I created a here and just go there. Okay, now I open it, unzip it. It's coming on the other screen. I just go and unzip. It will come on the screen unzipped. Okay, this is the guy which I need. Okay, in that is the double again other folder, and there's a lot of things in it. I just firstly cut it. Okay, and go back to my MCA folder. I call it new folder, and here I say JQuery UI. Just name this as a JQuery UI or whatever you want to name it, and paste it there. So I got all what is in a JQuery UI libraries here, and if you could see the extensions, they are just kind of a CSS, JS, and index.html is the one which is there. I will tell you what is that. In external, I got the jQuery. That's the jQuery.js. Okay, this is the jQuery. We have the jQuery in it. Okay, and if you see the jQuery UI is again a JavaScript file. If you see the jQuery UI min, it is a CSS file. So I may need all those things, and there are some packages and also there, okay, for themes and all, and there are some images here also in this folder. And if I open the index.html, for example, I'm opening the index.html. This is showing us what we can get in the jQuery UI, which is ready-made for us. It has everything like an accordion. Accordion shows the text in some kind of a tabbed things, and then no text comes in, and those collapses, and this opens up and to show all the text. Autocomplete, wherein the things get completed off its own. We got the button. Okay, then there is some kind of a setting. There is checkboxes, control groups. These are the control groups what we want to have, and there are lots and lots of options: tabs, dialogues, overlay, and shadow classes, framework icons, slider. We show some kind of a progress bar or something. This is the date picker which I was talking about. This is the progress bar, select menu, spinner, and many more things. Okay, this is all what we get into the jQuery UI. So we need to incorporate these things into our code. So now question comes, how to do that? So I'm saying technically we have, let me choose the pen. We have here the JavaScript file, firstly the CSS file, the JavaScript file, and we got the jQuery file. Okay, jQuery UI files and all. Okay, we got the jQuery files, we got the jQuery, this is all inside the jQuery UI folder. So we got to actually first kind of import them in our file, in our code, in our file. So when I choose the head, so I gonna import them. Okay, if I go to import the CSS, I'm gonna use the link. We have done it, href, then say what is the path of it. If I have to import the JavaScript file, jQuery.javascript file, because if I have to import the jQuery file here, that is the JavaScript file, but jQuery.js, for example. So for that, I'm gonna use script, and then I have a source to tell me where is that JavaScript file. And also for the jQuery UI, I also have the script tag and the source to tell me where is the JavaScript. That's again JavaScript, but that's jQuery UI.min.js. Okay, I will show you in a minute. So I need to import all these things. If I have a CSS, then there is a link tag which will give me the where is the CSS file. Then if I want to use the jQuery file, then I have a script and source. So the source will tell us where is that file to import that. And for the jQuery UI which happens to be jQuery UI or jQuery, both are the JavaScript files, okay? Because jQuery UI or jQuery both are JS files, nothing but the JS JavaScript files. And then we have also the CSS files. So in your jQuery UI, you have nothing but CSS and JavaScript files, okay? So the jQuery libraries are in jQuery.js and JQeeryUI.js, okay, are the jQuery UI libraries. So all these three are combined together into the jQuery UI libraries, wherein you can use all those things, the styling, the jQuery and jQuery interface, user interface libraries, so that we can use that in our code. So let's try to do these things now. So I open up the brackets and I go to the open folder, and I open the folder, not htdocs, this one which I had done already. I will do on a desktop, there is an MCA folder, and on the MCA folder we got this JQeeryUI. No, I will not open up this. I will open just the MCA folder, because JQeeryUI has the JQeeryUI files in it, okay? I will open up the MCA folder only and say select folder. Okay, I go to here and I go a little back. I say MCA and select the MCA folder. Okay, now I selected the MCA folder. There are these things, the JQeeryUI in it, where I have the things. This thing I have to delete, and I got here, I got create a new file called index.html. Okay, now here I put up my usual HTML code using the emmet. I put up the tab, it will write the boilerplate, and for this part I will say this is my jQuery UI, okay, whatever, and save it, Control S, just open it on a side so that we see it. Okay, here we go, it's having the title jQuery UI, not doing anything right now. So if I have to use the CSS of my file here, if you could see, there are a lot of files here. There are the CSS files which I want to use, like for example jQueryUI.min.css, this one I want to use this file, for example. So I have to tell it where it is. So in a head, I go ahead and say the link. I'm gonna link it, right? Okay, then there is an href, because I have shown you in the CSS that we can have the inline CSS or we can have CSS in a separate file. So how to get this separate file is, it's gonna be in a folder, which is, we are in MCA here. In the MCA there is a folder called JQeeryUI. Okay, this is the folder. Under the JQeeryUI, control and tab, space bar, it will give you what is there, and I want to use this file jQeeryUI.css. Now I am importing it. Then I have to tell it that relation is the style. This is the same thing what we had done. It is a style sheet, okay, and type is, we're gonna say what is the type of it. It's gonna be text.css, obviously, right? Then I got to close this thing. I gonna close this link tab. This is to link this jQueryUI.css file into my project, which I have downloaded and created a folder here. If you forgot, I will just go again to show you. This is my folder here, okay, and this is the MCA, and this is JQeeryUI folder. In the MCA folder I got this thing, and this thing I will delete, okay, because I have nothing in it now. I should delete this thing. So JQeeryUI folder has all whatever I have downloaded. Those all files are here, which are nothing but the CSS and JavaScript files. And then I may delete this also, so I have only these two files here, the folder containing the JQeeryUI libraries and my index file, right? So I go here, and this is what I have here. Okay, so if I have to import this CSS file. So I gotta say where is my CSS file, which I gonna use in my project. Okay, then I gonna use use the jQuery file now. First CSS, then jQuery, then jQuery UI. Okay, CSS, after CSS I have the jQuery file, and for that I have to use the script. Okay, and in a script I gonna say source, okay, equals. So where is that? Again in a JQeeryUI folder which I just created, and which file I want to open is in the external folder. Okay, I will show you here which file I'm trying to import. Here is this external in JQeeryUI. I got an external folder, this guy, and in this external folder there is a jQuery folder. In jQuery folder there is jQuery.js, which has the code of all that jQuery. So I will do same thing in my brackets here. I say I want into the external folder there is a folder called jQuery. Okay, in there is the jQuery.js. The bracket is already showing me I want that file. Okay, this is my script. Does it make sense what I'm doing? And after that after that what I do is I just want Control D, I will duplicate it, and this time around I am saying I want the jQuery UI file. In the jQuery UI folder I got the jQuery UI min.js, jQuery UI min.js. This is the guy which I want. So I got here the CSS file, I got here the Java jQuery file, and I got here the jQuery UI file, and I imported all of them into my project. So now I can use all the libraries what are there in those files. You can just go ahead and open those files and see what's there. And right now I can use whatever the code they have in my project here. Does it make sense or not? For example, I want to create that date picker. Okay, maybe. So I gotta just say the div. This is my div tag, and a div I got an ID. Okay, ID equals to, let me name it something like a my ID. Okay, and I close my div, and I want this div to show me the date picker, and I don't want to write anything here. Okay, so I go ahead here, I create a script. Okay, and normally we create a script and to load the JavaScript, I told you how to do that. We say type equals to, this is same thing we will do because this is jQuery UIs are nothing but the JavaScript code. So I'm gonna say text, okay, JavaScript. Only thing is we got widgets to work with. Other than that we have the same as what we had done in a JavaScript. Okay, I'm saying here I'm gonna have a dollar because dollar means jQuery, and then I'm gonna say function. You can say that dollar document load when it will be loaded, and all those things what we had done in the previous video. We can do the same thing, but I just don't want to waste time on that. You can do that. This is my function to do, and here in a function I am saying because I want to, because I told you dollar and selector dot action, the same thing I want to do here. I want to select this div which has an ID, my ID. So if it was a class I would have used the dot, but this is an ID, so I have to use the dollar, the pound sign, hash, in the single quotes, in fact. Okay, hash my ID, single quote close. Then I say this is the selector which selects this my ID, wherever this ID is, dot, then I say, hey, give me the date picker, give me the date picker. That's it. So when if I save it, Control S, I will get the date picker on this side. Where is that? Where is my browser? It's here. It's coming up. Okay, this is the date, DATE, date picker. I said data picker or something. Control S, refresh this to Okay, there is one more error here. I have closed the function this here. I should not close it here, rather I have to close it here and put up a terminator there. Control S. Okay, so I have to close it here, and this is the dollar function. Let me see again if I didn't write. This is dollar function is double this. Okay, then closing this, then opening brace, dollar hash my id dot date picker, then close it, control S. It should work now. So it's working now fine. So I got the date picker, as you could see here. You can choose any date, you can choose the day, months, and you got ready-made stuff to do work with. Okay, now we do the next thing in it. For example, I go to the browser. Where's my browser? Okay, here's the browser. Now if you look at it, we got whole lot of things, okay, to do. I will not be showing all these things. I will show you the one thing, and you can do rest of the things of your own. And I got you the site, which is where everything is there. For example, there is the accordion. Okay, I want to create that accordion. Okay, like this section, section 2, section 3, section 4, and so on and so forth. So here is the view source. So anyone you want to choose, and this is a view source. So there's a view source. For example, I just copy paste all this from in the body. There's a div, accordion, and all that. Okay, I says copy and go to my code. In my body here, I just paste it. This is nothing but a combination of divs. This is the div, as you could see here. From here, we got a div, and a top div which has an ID of accordion. Then inside I got the headers, then divisions, then paragraphs. Okay, this div is line number 22 div is closed on line number 29. Then I got another header and another div, and so on and so forth. And on the bottom is the outer div is closed here, 67, whose name is kept as the accordion. You can keep any name. Okay, now what we got to do is to create accordion out of it. Out of this div, I got to, like this div, I created the date picker. Same is with this div, I gonna create the accordion out of this whole text and structure. So I gotta do nothing. I don't have to do special thing, but I have already created this function here, okay, which will run for me, and which creates the date picker out of this ID. And I want from this ID, which is whose name is accordion, this div. Okay, so I will pick this. I will select this using the jQuery, that is the $sign. I'm gonna select it. I'm saying dollar. Okay, then gotta be the accordion. Select that accordion, ACCORDION, which is the name of this div. It could be anything, whatever you like to call it. Because it is accordion, so we have named it accordion. The site has named it accordion. You can name it anything you like. And then dot, then do something. Do what? Create the accordion out of it. That is the accordion. Create an accordion, use the accordion function, which will call that function where that's written in the file, in the jQuery UI, and it will create the thing for us. Then say Control S and give it a go. So I refresh this. It's not showing, so that means I have done something wrong. I will see it. What I have done is right now is it's showing me those sections, those headers and divs, wherein I have these text and all. So what I have done is, I have done it. I should have kept it, cut it, and place it within that function. Okay, I have created outside that function, which is wrong. I should have kept it inside the function. And there is one more error. I could see it, because if you have to call the ID, okay, if you have to select particular ID, any ID, then I need to use the hash sign, the pound sign. Okay, right? So if you don't use it, then it won't work. Control S. Now it should work fine for us. Yes, refresh it, and here we go. We got the accordion. Bingo. We have done nothing. and it's expanding and closing all those things of its own. And we got a beautiful accordion. We got a date picker, we got accordion. Now your job is to work with all those widgets there. The progress bar, just go for a progress bar, show the progress bar. You want to apply the progress bar to your code, with source code, okay? Then call that ID progress bar, nothing else other than that. Then select that dollar progress bar dot progress bar. You just call it progress bar, okay? And just give some value to it so that it will stay there, and so on. So anything you want to use, any widget, okay, just see the widget spinner, tabs, tooltips, just play with them, work with that, and put up in your code, and you will be good to go. Now there are, besides the widgets, there are the effects, there are the utilities, and there are, most importantly, the themes. You can apply the themes to your project. Having the theme roller, we have the theme rollers which we can use in our project, okay, and that whole theme will be applied to our project. So that will be our next video. Till then, ma salama.